All right, it is 6:30. We will call Monday, April 14th, 2025, City of Mayor City Council meeting to order. If you could please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And with that, do we have any additions to the agenda tonight?
I don't have any additions tonight, Mayor.
Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. With that, we will move to public comments. If there's anyone who would like to discuss anything that is not on the agenda, please come forward. Seeing none, we'll close public comments and move to consent agenda. Is there anything on the consent agenda that anyone would like pulled for further discussion? Hearing none, I'll look for motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. That will take us to business items. Consider approval of grant agreement with Carver County CDA for zoning code update.
Thank you, Mayor. We submitted for the grant to the Carver County CDA as part of their pre-development grant program for the zoning code update, and we were successfully awarded that. So we are receiving $10,000 to offset the cost of the zoning code update. It's a reimbursement style program, so we incur the cost, and then once we've incurred the $20,000 plus, then we will go ahead and submit for reimbursement on that. I would expect that to happen later this year.
Thank you. Any questions for the city administrator on this before we move on? With none, then I'll look for a motion to approve the grant agreement with Carver County CDA for the zoning code update in the amount of $10,000.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? So one, just thank you to this administrator for reaching out and applying for this grant. It's certainly going to help. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So no other comments. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. That will take us to the approval to purchase fitness equipment for the fire department,
Thank you, Mayor.
for the fire station.
Let's get to it here. Let me find it. Back when the fire station was constructed in 2021, 2022, an area on the second mezzanine level was set aside for a fitness area, and that area was populated with donated equipment from firefighters and Lifetime Fitness for the equipment that's currently existing. So there's 2 treadmills and an elliptical machine that are up there right now as far as larger electronic equipment. One of those is having major electrical issues and is no longer functioning and cannot be repaired. They're requesting to have that replaced with a climb mill, so a stair climber. The fire department does their annual stair climb exercise, so instead of having 2 treadmills being redundant there, they thought swap one out that's broken for the stair climber to help with their event that they do every year. At the time when this all went into the fire station, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it was ever clearly established how the replacement of equipment was going to happen in the future.
It was not.
So in discussions with that, bringing up for the city to fund the replacement of the equipment over time. The other treadmill is still in good condition, and the elliptical machine still is in good condition, so those should last a while longer. And then they had some requests for some equipment, 3-in-1 soft plyo box. Use those for jump exercises, box squats, things of that nature. It's a universal type of use of equipment. It's not very specialized, so anybody who goes up there could use it. Fitness Vision, or a 28-inch curl bar. So this would be if you're doing various bicep, tricep type of exercises. It's a universal piece of equipment that can be used. Right now, with the dumbbell set, what was donated at the time was an adjustable dumbbell set. So it's kind of in a little rack thing, and you dial it up to whatever you need. That's starting to fall apart, and it's no longer locking in proper to get the proper weights. They would like to move just a full standard dumbbell set rather than adjustable ones. So that's the request there. And then with the request for that dumbbell set, 5 to 50 pound, then they would need a 3-tier dumbbell rack to hold them all on as well. So that would replace the adjustables that are falling apart on them right now. So with that, we have the list price there along with the price that we're being quoted untaxed. This is the quote that they received to replace that equipment. Any questions on that? The rest of the equipment, they have some other machines that are in pretty good condition with normal maintenance done on those. Those should probably last another 10 to 15 years. A lot of the weights, those are good for many years because they're just steel plates and they're good to go. They might have an adjustable bench here and there, but you're talking a couple $100 to replace something of that nature. The big ticket items they could see in the near 5-ish years would be the other treadmill and maybe the elliptical if that starts going out.
Perfect, thank you. Any clarification needed?
This,
Go ahead.
this being funded out of,
It would be the fire CIP fund. So
Okay.
same place we're coming out of for the rest of the general equipment for the fire department.
got it.
How did they come up with our price versus list price? Like, was there a standard discount percentage or was it just kind of like,
I believe that's what they apply to us, us being a fire department,
okay,
since they want to be generous to those who serve the community.
So if nothing else, I'll look for a motion to approve the quote from Johnson Fitness and Wellness in the amount of $6,922 for some replacement exercise equipment at the fire station.
motion?
We have a motion. Do we have a second? A motion, a second. Any further discussion? And what's the plan, Nick, with the obsolete equipment? Is it going to get hauled away or could they take it from us, the dumbbells and the treadmill?
They
Are we going to
could,
put it in spring cleanup? Or are we?
that sort of stuff, the treadmill, we would have that disposed of properly. We'll ask to see if they can take that away
Okay,
as a courtesy, otherwise dumpster it.
okay. Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. That will take us to number 11. Consider approval to accept the resignation of Kyle Kuntz as Public Works Supervisor.
Thank you, Mayor. Kyle Kuntz has announced his resignation from the city of Mayor effective April 25th, not March, April 25th. So this bleeding into the other items here. Next steps would be personnel and the Public Works Committee held a joint meeting to discuss transition. What are we going to do for replacement? And in the interim, since Kyle holds our Class A wastewater license, we are required by the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency to have a Class A license associated with our wastewater facility for a minimum of 6 hours per week. So other Class A facilities, when they have this sort of vacancy come open, it happens to them as well. We looked at 3 options as part of this. One was People Service, which is a company that comes in and offers those type of services. They had a cost associated with that. Doug Kammerer, who is the former utility superintendent for the city of Watertown, he recently retired, but he has a side business since he has his Class A license where he will do this for cities on an interim basis. And then Kyle offered to continue on in evenings and weekends to lend his Class A license to us as well. He also included in that he would also oversee the water treatment facility, as well as continue to work with me on capital improvement items that we're going through for the summer months. So I'll let the committee members jump in as they see fit, but we evaluated all the options based upon costs and what was being offered, and we felt that Kyle having the institutional knowledge, also offering to do a handful more things than the others were proposing to do, and also being the lowest cost option, we felt that was the good choice to move forward with. Anything to add from the committee members.
I don't have anything
No,
right
you
now.
Covered it all.
Yeah, maybe when we get to 13, I might add something, but yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, I have nothing at this point.
So just to round that back out, so how it would work is Kyle would not be an independent contractor. We would retain him as an employee. He resigns out of his public works supervisor position, then he would be hired to what is number 12. We'd have to create an interim water and wastewater treatment operator position, which has the job description that was included in the packet. Kyle is then hired on as that, which is number 13. He fills that role until the new public works supervisor is hired. And then at that point, depending what we get for applicants, then we make additional decisions. If we get an applicant with a Class A license, then it all resolves ourselves. That person then uses their Class A license for the facility. If we don't get anybody with a Class A license, since our minimum requirements is a B license, then we need to figure out a medium to long-term solution for where our Class A license is going to come from. Maybe Kyle is willing to do it for longer, but otherwise we would look at somebody like Doug Kammerer to come in and do that on a longer-term basis on that front. But before we get to all that, let's start with number 11 here to consider approval to accept the resignation of Kyle Kuntz as Public Works Supervisor.
Thank you. So with that, I'll look for a motion to approve the resignation of Kyle Kuntz as Public Works Supervisor.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion?
I just want to thank Kyle for all the years that he has served, and I wish him the best in his new adventure.
Yeah, he has certainly served the community well in his 12 years now.
Just about 12.
From starting as part-time to where he is now, he's certainly excelled, really put a lot of effort into where he's at. So, and really cares about the community. So I do appreciate, and add on to Nikki's words, is he's greatly appreciated. We appreciate everything done from everyone in the community.
Absolutely.
So with that, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. All right, let's move to the approval to create an interim water and wastewater treatment operator position and job description.
Thank you, Mayor. As was mentioned, the Joint Committee reviewed this, and the recommendation is to create this position so that we can hire Kyle into it to fulfill our needs for the Class A wastewater license, but also with the added benefits of the C plant oversight and then working on CIP issues as well.
And to Nick's point, we did meet as kind of a joint public works and personnel committee meeting to go over some of this, look at all our options. This seemed like a great recommendation from the city administrator how to treat this. And I'm assuming with him being an employee, then some of the insurance stuff is taken care of and some of that aspects of things. So I think it'll be very beneficial to add this. So with that, I'll look for a motion to approve the interim water and wastewater treatment operator position and job description.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. So with that, we'll move to consider approval to hire Kyle Kuntz as the interim water and wastewater treatment operator.
Thank you, Mayor. So this would be to hire Kyle to that position at the established rate of $70 per hour. He would be working 6 hours per week with potential, if something comes up and he had to come back in for some reason whatsoever, maybe an extra hour or here a week, but the standard would be 6.
Yeah. And to Nick's point earlier, as we went through this, we have to have him for 6 hours. You know, if say people services came in who was much more expensive, and I don't know if the numbers were ever in here from what the comparisons were from our 3 options. Kyle has indicated that he's certainly doesn't want to just sit here for the 6 hours and be here and do his time. He's willing to, go check out the water facility, make sure do more than what some of the others were, and still being the cheapest of the 3. So I think that's very beneficial to add him to continue running the plant. So with that, I'll look for a motion to hire Kyle Kuntz as the interim water and wastewater treatment operator in the amount of $70 per hour.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. With that, we will move to approval to authorize the opening of the Public Works Supervisor position for hiring.
Thank you, Mayor. With the resignation of Kyle Kuntz, we now have the open Public Works Supervisor position. This would authorize its opening advertising. I'm proposing that we advertise until May 14th. We'll be advertising in the local newspaper, the League of Minnesota Cities website, and on the Minnesota Rural Water Association website. That's generally the go-to place for public sector employee postings.
Thank you, Nick. With that, I'll look for a motion to approve the authorization of opening the Public Works Supervisor position for hiring.
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion?
Are the two that are still in Public Works willing to pursue their Class A license or?
So as for the public works utilities operator positions, as part of the continued employment requirements, they do advance up.
Okay.
They will eventually, so they're required to get their B license at a maximum. They're encouraged to get their A, but the A test is difficult. So the idea being, we don't want to make it an A requirement, because if they just can't pass the test, then you have to kick them out.
Yeah.
So being a B is far more attainable. They'll have that B, and then if they want to get their A, they certainly can, and we do encourage it. At the end of the day, we're built, because that was not a requirement in the past. It was just get your Class D and your Class C water. So having them go up to A, that will then provide some redundancy and cross-training to make sure that if this situation arises again, while you don't have a supervisory employee, you do have an employee that has their Class A to cover in the interim.
Right, thank you.
And everything's set as far as union notification, everything we need to do as far as union, we're all good there.
Yep, I talked to Craig
Perfect.
last week, 2 weeks ago.
And then as they appoint a new union steward, we just keep us posted who that is.
Will do.
Thank you. So if no other comments, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Post same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Consider approval of quote for street repairs to Hickory Lane and Timber Drive.
Thank you, Mayor. Bolton Menk, care of Phil, has quoted out or bid out the repair efforts to Timber or Hickory Lane and Timber Drive. If you recall, there was some mischievousness that happened on these last year. We had a resident take a piece of equipment over it and cause some damage to it. We did not get the quotes together in time last year before the cold weather hit to have it repaired. Now that the weather's turning nice again, we'd like to get the sections of road milled, repaired. Did this include curb work as well?
Yeah.
So this would include the whole thing to bring it back up to full repair status. As part of the proceedings, we are requesting remuneration from the party to repay these costs.
That's what I was going to ask.
And Phil, do you have a breakdown of what the, and you can take the lowest bid here, of what the 2025 street improvement project is versus what the repairs are to Hickory Lane and Timber Drive? Do we have a breakdown on that?
I did not prepare that, but I certainly can after the meeting. And
Okay.
to you.
Okay. So with that, I'll look for a motion to approve the bid from William Mueller and Sons in the amount of $45,688.80 for the 2025 street improvement project, which includes the repair of Hickory Lane and Timber Drive.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion?
I just said it. do people live in those two houses? I can't remember if people purchased those two homes on, I don't remember which road it is.
Yeah, I believe one was constructed and built, and I think the other one is occupied as well.
Okay, so just, will they communicate with those homeowners that they will be,
Yes. Yep.
okay.
We'll treat it like a regular street project. We'll make sure notifications go out. It'll just be to those property owners.
Yeah, just want to make sure that they're notified since I think people live there.
So with these two roads being stubbed into nothing, is there an urgency to get these cleaned up versus just wait till it happens and then, or is it just mobilization? Is it makes sense? I don't,
We don't have any other mill and overlay activities planned for a while. So it'd be quite some time before that got repaired. And if any other street happened this, I would have it repaired for the sake of the citizens that live upon it, yes.
even for a stub like this where it's going, no, I mean,
Yeah,
What
but
are
there's
they?
a portion of it where there's not stub that's tore up too,
where?
where the tracks were, wasn't it?
The tracks in the road.
Yeah,
Next to that house. Is that what you mean?
is that on the stub?
It
I
is
think
on the
it's a
stub.
stub.
Oh, it is on a
Right
stub.
there.
I mean, I
My
understand-
mistake.
I
my
understand
mistake.
repairing, I get that, but because of the way it is and we have nothing where these roads will be going possibly for years, do we wait it out a little bit? And and if we have to bring someone out just for this and it costs a little more, I mean, that's on the person who's covering that, correct? I mean,
No, it was vandalistic damage and you would repair it. You would have it fixed because any homeowner that's going to be abutting these properties are expecting
yeah,
new roads.
I mean, there's two houses on Hickory Lane, like, sorry, we're not, because your road doesn't go anywhere, we're not gonna, I mean, and it looks
Right.
horrible.
oh, I'm sorry, you're right.
Mhm.
So,
So Timber Drive doesn't have a home necessarily to drive on it with a driveway, but it does butt up.
yeah.
It's next to a property that has a home on it.
And I'm sorry, you're absolutely right. So those are showing, I mean, there's not homes there now, but they're platted out.
No, there are homes
Oh, there
there.
are homes there now?
Yeah, and people are living
Yeah,
in
this
them
is-
on
This
Hickory
is
Lane.
24
I don't
imagery.
remember that. Okay, perfect. Then that.
And
that
there's
answers-
homes all there right next to Timber Lane.
Yep. No, I understand.
There's not a home on the other side, on the,
North side.
No, that makes perfect sense. And that totally makes sense.
Okay.
that's why I wanted to ask if they were gonna notify the homeowners that live on that little
Yeah.
stub road.
Thank you for that clarification.
Are
Any
the-
other discussion? Go ahead.
Are the improvement projects for 2025 in that neighborhood?
No.
Okay.
No. The,
Oh, that's brand new road.
I I named it 2025. I don't think there's any other work associated to the 2025 street.
yeah, so
Oh,
I
okay.
could get to this point. This is an isolated incident.
Yep.
Let's see here. I'll show real quick.
It'd be confusing.
Page one. So what we're looking at for this year so this is a one-off damage that occurred due to vandalism. The normal and regular street maintenance that we would do for 2025 is the area in black. And this is the area that was mill and overlaid in 2023 as part of that project. Now that we're 2 years after that, now we're looking at seal coating operations to cover that area.
Thanks
So-
for the clarification.
Yep, and that occurred up in
Yep.
that area.
So sorry, just to clarify for myself, because now I'm confused. The 45,688 is strictly for that
The damage.
damage.
Yes.
Nothing else. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. It was a little misleading. That's where I got thrown off. Thank you. All right, we have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Post same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Now move to number 16, consider approval of quote for the 2025 sewer jetting services.
Thank you, Mayor. We were hoping to receive one more quote by tonight for jetting services, but we did get it from the usual winner, which is Overline and Sons, as you can see in the packet. And their quote for services, the per linear foot cost is the exact same as it was for 2024.
Perfect, thank you. I'll look-
So our budget for this was 35,000, and since we had a smaller size and the price didn't go up from last year, the total cost is 20,580.
Perfect. I'll look for a motion to approve the quote from Overline and Sons for $20,580 for the 2025 sewer line jetting.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? And thank you for trying to get a second quote, but Overline and Sons has been doing this for years. They're very responsive, do a great job, and they typically year after year come in the cheapest. So
Yep.
very comfortable with this. So with that, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Consider approval of the land use agreement for the disc golf course.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll talk about these three a bit together as well. So the park board has been working on a project that was brought to us last year, proposed disc golf course. I'm just going to go to the image because that's easier. We had looked at this last time as part of our workshop. Just to recap here, thank you to our guests here, Andy and Jason, for the large amount of time and effort they've put into helping design this. So this is the most updated design that we have. The green circles are the baskets and where they're proposed, kind of the notations. So the first one is the whole number followed by the length of it. The number in red, if it's readable, is the fairway width. We kept that to 6-foot increments to match our more widths to make it easy for public works. The red represents the snowmobile trail as it passes through in the winter months. So we're designing with that in mind. The purple is a combination of the cross-country course plus walking around paths around the course as well. So we're taking that into account as well. And then we have transitional mowed areas between the holes, which would mow a path in between all of those. It's a 19-hole disc golf course. The land use agreement would be with Mayor Lutheran Schools. Since they are the owners of the property, we need to have a land use agreement in place that authorizes us to construct and to have a disc golf course. The term of that is 20 years, although there is a 6-month out clause if Mayor Lutheran finds a developer for this 10, 15, 20 years down the road that wants to develop this into something. They would have to give us a 6-month heads up, and then we go in and pull out the equipment and then return the land back to its original condition. As part of the exchange for the land use agreement, Mayor Lutheran does have a farmer who hays this area, and Mayor Lutheran does receive a sum of money for that in exchange. They have asked, since they're going to be losing quite a bit of the space here to that they have asked us to mow the soccer fields in this area as an offset. That would occur when we're already mowing the rest of the disc golf course. We wouldn't be making special trips for that. It would just end up on the normal schedule. Public Works figures this is another couple extra hours with 2 mowers to handle that. So it fits well within our capabilities in that. The land use agreement has been approved by Mayor Lutheran. It has been reviewed by the League of Minnesota Cities and the city attorney. So it is good on that front. When we look at quotes, this was the quote that we had from last year. I did get an updated quote just to make sure we have the expiration dates as the same. The quote is updated. Originally, we're looking at 18, but we settled on 19. The price per basket, the rest of the cost all stays the same. The freight stayed the same. So the quantity is updated to 19, but all the other costs stayed the exact same. So the price is the same and as what we had budgeted for on that. And then we do have the 2 concrete. So this is what the basket would look like from Innova. Very good basket. It'll last us quite a long time on that. When it comes to the concrete quotes, we got 2 quotes for that, one from Shower and Sons and the other from Unique Concrete. And the low one on that was Unique Concrete at $12,777. So with that, I will happily field questions regarding the disc golf course, or if, get to the right one here. Or if there's any questions for our esteemed representatives of the Disc Golf Working Group, I'm sure they'd be happy to answer.
No questions at this point. So with that, then, thank you, Nick. I'll look for a motion to approve the land use agreement with Mayor Lutheran High for the disc golf course.
Motion.
We have a motion Do we have a second? And a
Second.
second from Emily. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Consider approval for quote for the disc golf course baskets. So with that, I'll look for a motion to approve the quote from Innova in the amount of $7,421. Is that, no, I'm sorry, thank you. In the amount of $7,796.
So quick amendment to that. That's the base cost for the baskets. They do have some additional, if we want to have sleeves, they have additional costs for that. Flag setup for the target tops. Basic T signs if we want to go for that route, T marker sets. We don't need course design services. So I would say base plus these fees if we choose to use them. And this was included in the budget cost. I had figured these as part of the, where is it? So that figure there that we've looked at prior, that 10,361 is inclusive of all those other things.
So that's what you'd want the
Budget figure to
budget
be.
for,
If
is
we don't
that,
use it all, then we don't use it.
okay.
What's the total then for, do you have the math for, it's still 7796?
No, it was just
No,
on there,
he just had it
10,000.
10,360.
Yep.
Oh, that's the number.
Yep, so if you can read it, up in the formulation here, we have the basket cost plus the additionals that are listed there. That come out to this cost to be the total. That would be the budget figure. That doesn't necessarily mean we use all of them, but. it
Who's
gives us-
making the decision?
We would be as the working group.
Okay, got it.
This coming out of park fund.
Yes.
What's a sleeve? Maybe I should have looked
Sleeve.
at the.
Installation sleeves, that'd be
Yeah.
the thing that goes into the ground that it slides right into
Oh, okay.
and locks in.
That was, can I say something?
Yeah.
So that was one of the requirements with the school, is they wanted to have it, they had to be like removable. So that sleeve allows you to put the basket in, it can be locked down, so it can't be taken. But then you have the option to pull it out if you had to get machinery around it or over it.
Got it.
Thank you.
I would have preferred to have these set prior to this meeting, but here we are. So with that, I'll look for a motion to accept the quote from Innova Disc Golf to not exceed $10,361.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Post same sign. Motion carries 5-0. With that, we'll move to the approval of the quote for the disc golf concrete tee pads.
Thank you, Mayor. As mentioned, we received two quotes to do this work. One came, this was for 18 holes. This one wasn't quite correct, but that was $29,250. And then from Unique Concrete, which was the low cost, that was for the 19 holes, and they were spec'd out the same, and that came to $12,777.
Big difference.
It's a crazy difference.
Unique Concrete, if you're wondering, in talking with them, they very much believe in this type of project. They're excited about the disc golf course, and they wanted, since they're such big proponents of it, they wanted to provide pretty good pricing for doing that work.
Good, which is certainly appreciated.
Mhm.
So look for a motion to approve the quote from Unique Concrete in the amount of $12,777.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Wow, we're really
We
good
have a
at
motion.
this. I'm not saying
Councilman
anything the
Halt,
rest
a
of the meeting.
second from McNeely.
Oh, wow.
Any further discussion?
No.
Really
All in favor,
excited
say aye.
about it.
Aye.
Post same sign. Motion carries 5-0. And with that, thank you both, Annie and Jason. I appreciate all your time and working in conjunction with the Public Works, with the Park and Rec Department. Very much appreciate all your time and all your efforts. Really looking forward to this.
We live in the community and want to see it.
Yeah.
Have some good information.
Perfect.
I'm looking forward to see how bad I am at that, considering I suck at golf.
I'll be right there with you, Chad. Don't worry.
I can't golf, so let's throw a frisbee
We'll
at
just
it.
bring our own frisbee because they're not called that.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it. So with that, we'll move to council reports. Councilmember Halt, anything to report on?
Personnel committee meeting, just working over personnel policy.
Councilmember Fausch.
I do not have anything. We have an EDA meeting next week.
Councilmember McNeely.
Nope.
Councilmember Jackson.
We welcomed Lauren Stifter to the commission and then, as discussed, the disc golf course.
Perfect. And I've had two I had a the joint
that too,
public
yeah.
works personnel meeting that I discussed or touched on earlier to go over Kyle's replacement and all that we went over today. And then we had one right before this meeting, another personnel meeting, as Chad mentioned, to go over the personnel policies. We're redoing it. We haven't redone the personnel policies in 10 years now. Since 2015, we've got a lot of new information from the league that we're incorporating in and new laws that have passed, and obviously in the last 10 years. So it's ongoing. We're probably another meeting or two before we start getting things ready to start rolling out to council, but it's coming. We're making good headway on it. So we spend about an hour and a half each meeting working through it. So with that, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.
I'm gonna be that guy throwing frisbees out on 25.
Yeah, but see, Chad, you gotta stop calling them frisbees. They're gonna
Sorry,
know.
disc.
Yes.
Sorry.
have the clay